Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of BizTalks. I'm extremely excited to introduce our DBA mentor, Professor Saša Petar, with us today on this talk. So like I said, he's one of our DBA mentors. I'm going to hand it over to him for a full lengthy introduction and then we can get going. We're going to be talking about the difference maybe between PhD, DBA, these kinds of topics as well, DBA mentoring. So Professor Petar, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really glad and I would say thrilled to be the guest here.
Thank you.
And I hope that I will be a good part of this conversation. My name is Saša Petar. I'm a professor, I'm an economist, I got a PhD and I'm a DBA mentor in the SSBN. I'm really happy that I cooperate with SSBN for the last almost 2 years, I think.
Yes, I think so.
And that I'm closing to the number of 10 graduated candidates, and I'm really happy that I can say that I'm proud on their dissertations, on their work. And I'm really happy that SSBM DBA is a really strong program where the candidates can give their share even on the national level. Mm-hmm. In total, I have more than 400 mentorships so far for the different business schools, universities, mm-hmm. and from bachelor program to the DBA program. So I think that I can say that I learn how to be a good mentor.
Yeah.
Because the idea of mentorship is not to force the candidate to do what I want to see written, mm-hmm. But to support the candidates to find the topic, and not just the topic, but the angle, mm-hmm. the focus to the topic that can be a very good dissertation when it's finished.
Yes.
I'm always saying to my candidates two things. First, what is important? First thing is important to find the literature. Mm-hmm. Because if you cannot find the literature for your topic because it's some special topic or a super topic, yes. or something that is completely
very unique,
new,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
then it's very hard to compare your result with somebody else's results.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have just one result, you can say, oh, it's brilliant, this is genius, I did it the best.
Yes.
But if you compare it with some other result, only then you can say, compared to them, I gave something exactly. else, I achieved something, things mm-hmm. like that. And the second important thing when you choose your topic for your dissertation mm-hmm. is to find the focus group that you can do your survey, your research mm-hmm. Successfully.
Yeah.
For example, if you choose, let's say, companies.
Okay.
And I have a lot of students from India, and you want to prove something on the national level, mm-hmm. and you can get only 5 companies, mm-hmm. sample of 5. If you are researching your street and you have 6 companies, then 5 it's quite okay.
Yes, I understand.
But
yeah.
to say on the sample of 5 companies that in whole India you proved blah blah mm-hmm. something like that, mm-hmm. then it's not a serious
sample size. Yes, it's too small. Yes.
I mean, there's a reason why I'm trying to ask my candidates just to focus. Mm-hmm. What they're talking about. Are they talking about the industry? Are they talking about state? Are they talk about economy?
Yeah.
And what else is important? I'm always telling that my candidates should create a funnel.
Okay. In
what
way?
It's not a problem at the beginning that they gave a whole picture of the problem.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, there were some strange topics that on the first sight it was, wow, where is business here? But after that, you realize that everything can be business.
Yes.
And then I tell them, okay, guys, when you create a funnel, then, okay, first half can be whole general covering of the problem where you prove that you understand the problem, that you are aware of the problem. But later, you should focus. Unfortunately, I was a member of the jury for several dissertations where candidate didn't focus at the end, but it was just...
It was too broad, yeah.
And then when you ask some questions, I mean, I'm always telling to my candidates, hey guys, members of the jury don't hate you.
Yeah, they're trying to help,
If they are asking questions, the more I understand what you are writing about, I have less questions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you don't have a clear picture of what you're writing, then I have to ask.
Yes.
And it usually happens that final result is a kind of confusion that is not good for the candidate, and sometimes they have to correct the original idea.
Yes.
I mean,
that takes a lot of effort, doesn't it? If they've already gone so far into their research to start correcting it again.
Well, there is one really simple test I'm always saying to my candidates. If somebody outside that don't know anything about this ask you, hey, you are working hard, you are not going outside, you just stay and read, what are you writing about? If you can answer with one simple question that is understandable to your grandmother, to your neighbor, to anyone, then you know what are you writing about. If you need more than one simple sentence, that you need to be much more clarified to yourself.
Yes, it has to be much more specific. I mean, you have a lot of experience as well, because as we just mentioned, you had roughly 400 DBA students. So, I mean, that's a very big number. And I know that most of our students...
Suddenly, I feel very old.
No, not old, just a lot of experience, which is what we love here at SSBM. But it's, I know most of the students are very excited to meet you. You were a guest lecturer at our EBIS conference as well, so you got to meet some of the DBA students. A lot of them online, and hopefully as well in Geneva, you'll meet more of them. But my biggest question, I think a lot of people that are trying to enroll or wanting to enroll, the biggest question is, why don't we have a PhD program? What's the difference between, you know, a DBA and a PhD? I mean, of course, there are multiple differences, but in your perspective, maybe why is a DBA program good for certain candidates?
I mean, being a PhD candidate, you are strictly focused on your university or on your faculty topic, and you cannot have such a broad approach. And when I have a candidate for a PhD, it has to be really, really focused. I insist on some knowledge learned during the lectures.
Yes.
But on DBA, for example, I can recall a really smart colleague. She did the analysis, what could happen in operational, business and medical way of treatment during the COVID if the boxes with the oxygen are not 5 liters but 3 liters. So basically, it's a business problem. And she is a medical person, but she did an excellent analysis proving that for the companies that are producing such an oxygen boxes, it's much better to have them with the 3 liters. For the medical part, it's like the story about the stewardess in the plane who saved a lot of money to the company because she noticed that the travelers, the passengers, always leave 1/3 of the bag of the sugar
Okay.
And then she suggested to the bosses not to buy
So much sugar.
5 grams bags, but the 3 gram.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And thanks to her, they saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they saved a lot of waste because they didn't have to throw all
they
the
were more
sugar.
Sustainable as well because of it.
So she proved this being a DBA candidate, that it's much better to produce smaller oxygen. Okay, let's say boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more practical,
But
I guess, yes.
If she is a student of economics, she would just concentrate on economical part. If she is in a medicine, she will have to concentrate on the medical part. Here with the DBA, she could cover much broader area.
Yeah. Topic,
She could show that she can be multitasking in thinking, which I like very much.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's not a problem to solve a simple problem. That's why we have computers and robots. But humans still have this advantage that we can solve a complex problem. So, for example, if she went to PhD, to economics, I should ask her some methods, some techniques, something like this, which she most probably will not know because she is a medical person. So that's the reason why I have PhD for scientific work, and I respect that very much, and I respect a lot of my colleagues with a PhD. But on the other hand, you have DBA, so you have some, let's say, practical science proved in business.
Yes. Yes. It's more practical.
And that's the reason why I'm encouraging some of my colleagues who even got a PhD. Hey guys, the problem you are trying to solve, it's really complex, and a DBA is a much better field of action than just a PhD.
Yes, it's more, I don't want to say real life problems, but it is more practical, you know, than the knowledge that you can receive. And
I'm always saying that the only way I respect science is that is proved in a practice.
yes.
So that's the reason why I believe that within the next 5 to 7 years, a lot of things in the education will change. More specialized, more specific faculties or programs will perish because you can solve this on your computer and the artificial intelligence. But there will be more and more need for a complex studies, for a complex solution, and then there I see that the DBA program, particularly from the SSBM, will prove the worth of the whole program.
Yes, I mean, it depends what perspective you're looking at it, but some people might prefer PhD, some people might prefer a DBA program, so it's just, it's good to explain it because, you know, a lot of people don't know which path to choose.
There is a simple solution. If you find yourself ever on the deserted island,
Okay.
then a lot of theory models will not help you.
Maybe
But
not.
the practical experience,
It
practical
always
knowledge,
will.
and application of science to the practical part will save you.
Yes. I mean, clearly from this conversation, it's very clear that you have a lot of experience. You know, we've talked about how many DBA students you've had and still have are ongoing, but you have so much experience because you've written so many academic papers, so many books as well. You know, as I was preparing for this podcast, this talk, I didn't really know what to choose. We were in communication. There are so many books that you've written that I don't even know which topic would be best. So if you could just, you know, talk a little bit about that, because it's really interesting that we have people that are connected to SSBM that are such great academics as well, but are in the DBA world alongside this. So just more about the books that you've written.
Okay, we open the topic. We have a chance to establish, let's say, something that will always finish to be continued. Okay, I'm not talking about the Turkish soap operas,
Of course,
but definitely sharing of experience, sharing of knowledge between professors as well as the students, it's really important. I finished my 43rd book this year. And
I mean, that's an accomplishment. I just want to stop you there. Congratulations, because that's very impressive.
I like to read, and very often I say, okay, I cannot find the book that I would like to read, so I will write it. And I'm trying to write with the American style. So a lot of my books are academic books, but students say that we are reading this like a novel or like a criminal book or something like that. There is a saying that don't start to read Saša's book before you go to sleep, because you
won't stop. You'll just keep
not sleep
reading
until you finish. What I want to say, everything is changes, but particularly media that transfers the information, transfers the knowledge. And my publishers usually say, okay, but nobody reads books anymore. And then I say, okay, let's combine books with something else. So for example, in my next book, at the end of every chapter, you will have a QR code that you will scan it, and then the rest of the text you will find on YouTube.
Oh, really? That's very interesting.
Or it will be a combination of comics, or, I mean, I accept the fact. I'm always saying that while I'm teaching, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
And I am always ready to learn from the younger generation, from the generation who knows in a technical part much more than I do. And I have no problem with that. I mean, I think that the best results are coming when you combine younger and let's say elderly people.
Well, more experienced. Oh, yes.
More experienced. Thank you very much for that. Because only in that combination you can get the best results.
Best of both
I know
worlds,
a lot of companies who said we don't need experienced people, so they send it
that's an
to
issue,
retirement. And 3 months after, they called them to come back because nobody knows
that much
what
information,
to do.
yes.
On the other side, I think that the teams where there are only experienced people that don't allow younger people to come with ideas and with solutions, they will be an old-fashioned group. So definitely when we have a topic for our next podcast. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I hope that I could be in position to say that the number of sold books is still rising, and that that the people are reading.
Well, thank you very much. I absolutely agree with what you said. You know, through teaching you can learn, and it's always like never stop learning, which is one of our mottos here at SSBM. Like I said, I'm going to stop the podcast here. I mean, it's incredibly interesting. Yes, time out. But this is just part one. We're definitely going to come back and dive deeper into these books, your thoughts about these topics, which is super interesting for us. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for joining and speaking with us.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I wouldn't say bye-bye. I would say to be continued.
To be continued.
Okay.
Thank you.